Hey TikTok, my name is Tiffany, and generally I make content about saving small businesses from private equity. This is not my normal content. I believe myself and my family may be in danger. I know we are in danger, and I need you to not scroll away, please. A year and a half ago, a billionaire-backed private equity firm sought to make an example of me to scare other small businesses because I was the president of a trade association that represented small businesses that were fighting back against that private equity firm's forced and coercive tactics. It's a company called Unleash Brands. They're owned by Seidler Private Equity. They bought the company I owned a franchise of, The Little Gym. We taught babies gymnastics classes. Now I own a baby music studio that teaches kinder music to children in sign languages. And I have been fighting for my life ever since, as they have spent an estimated $6 to $9 million to destroy my life and terrorize me and everyone I love. In the last 2 months, we have just learned that they filed yet another lawsuit against me. But this time, rather than serving me as is ethically required, they kept quiet. They forged documents or bought forged documents claiming that I had been served. And they mailed documents that they claimed in their filings they had mailed to my home, to a home blocks away. Not to me, even though they've had my address and have been mailing me successfully throughout the entirety of this case. And this case, there's a reason that they did it so differently. In addition to bribing my landlord with a $120,000 bribe to kick me out of my building, in addition to putting in fraudulent documents, fabricated evidence, suborning perjury, stealing files from my office, filing motions to compel me to have an abortion against my will just to terrorize me and others. In addition to the thousands of disgusting and unethical things that they have done, this time they spent money for a different purpose. It appears they've hired a dangerous felon, provided him with my family's information and my personal details, including my birth date, and asked him to deliver us a message. That's the only way I can describe it, because he didn't serve us documents, which is how they're going to try to spin it. But he did deliver fabricated affidavits for the court saying that we had been served documents we have never seen. Now, this man was hired by the second largest law firm in the state of Maryland. This company, this firm, has an entire division dedicated to scouting out everyone they work with, the experts, the couriers, the research assistants, the jury selection team, the service processors they use. And in the whole of the state of Maryland, they chose a man with 88 felony charges. This is a 7-minute long video sped up to show all of the felony charges this man has against him, most of which are related to forging documents, fraud, counterfeiting money, and carrying out massive fraud schemes in the neighborhood of up to $100,000. But there are also more terrifying charges, like assault, vehicular assault, animal cruelty, escaping police custody, threatening witnesses in his case. And this is the man that they chose. They chose him to give him my personal information, a man that's out on parole with a suspended sentence. And maybe they told him my husband was a federal attorney, maybe they didn't. But I do know that if we're the ones that put him back in prison for lying under oath, he may have a real problem with that. And based on what we've been informed by the police in the last 2 days, they can't find him all of a sudden. He's missing. They sent him to my home, where my babies live. In addition to hiring a dangerous felon to fabricate their affidavits, they also submitted affidavits claiming they had mailed the documents to us regarding this new case. Those documents they had mailed to me should have come to the same address they've sent everything else to in this case, the same address that's listed in every single attachment in every one of their filings, but they didn't. For some reason, the moment they started filing this new case, my address was suddenly changed. That is not my address. Now, they've been using the right address throughout all of the litigation until this filing. Now, what is more likely? That at the exact moment they filed a filing asking for a judge to award them $2.5 million in attorney's fees on a case they didn't win a single dollar in, and where they were found guilty of defaming me to deny me legal representation, that they suddenly accidentally made an error in my address 17 times in 17 different occasions, or that they did it purposefully so they could say under oath, we mailed it. Oops, we didn't know it wasn't right. And what's more likely? That they, as the second largest law firm in the state of Maryland, who absolutely knows every single person they work with as a calculated decision, accidentally hired the only process server in the state that is a hardened felon out on parole with 88 forgery charges to buy a forged affidavit, or that they selected him for a reason. I know what the answer is. That was rhetorical. I also know that because they did this so effectively, we are now at a point in the case where I don't have months to get counsel and raise funds and do all of the things you have to do to defend yourself in court. We're at the point right now where we're at a default ruling. And that means I have days, not weeks, to secure counsel and answer. And that costs a lot of money when they've already spent so many millions of dollars to destroy my life. And they've already taken so much. I have to do something now I've tried so hard not to do for as long as I've had this channel. Since the moment all of you joined my fight and started helping me to save others where I couldn't save myself, I have tried every day to not abuse the platform you've given me for my own benefit or gain. And every day I preach that we're all suffering because billionaires are destroying America. And they've created wealth inequality so severe that none of us are making it. And so I have to do something now, and I'm so ashamed. But I have days to raise $25,000. And a bunch of small business owners set up a GoFundMe for me months ago, and I have never shared it on this channel, ever. I've never asked for anything, and I don't want to ask now, but I don't have a choice. If you don't have anything, that's okay. If you can help share my story, if you can help protect my family, I would be extremely grateful. We have an army of volunteer lawyers all across the United States, but we are required to hire a lawyer in Arizona. And I do not have a volunteer there. I have no choice. By law, I must be represented by counsel because I have a business, and that's what they're trying to destroy. If you have $1 to give or $5 to give, I would rather 25,000 people gave one single dollar than one person gave 25,000. But I have days to raise this money or they win $2.5 million because they are lying, cheating pieces of shit. I cannot fight fair because they couldn't beat one woman. They have to do it like this because they couldn't get me to quit. They have to cheat and steal. Fucking cowards. You're fucking cowards. So if you have $1 or $5 and you're willing, the link is in my bio. I'm so sorry to ask. But I would rather they saw a 25,000 person strong army giving $1 each than one person standing beside me with $1 million. I want them to know how many people know how disgusting they are. And if you can't, that's okay. I'm sorry I had to ask. And if anything happens to my family, you know where it came from. We are scared. Thank you. Thank you all.